The security camera footage was crystal clear at 2:47 a.m. My fiancée Victoria sliding into Travis Landon's black Mercedes, overnight bag in hand, kissing him like her life depended on it. I rewound it 3 times, each replay hammering another nail into the coffin of our 5-year relationship. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Well, shit, I muttered to my empty basement workshop, surrounded by architectural blueprints and half-finished models. Guess the foundation was rotten from the start. Victoria Hale had always been ambitious, polished, the kind of woman who could charm a room full of investors while mentally calculating their net worth. I'd fallen for that confidence when we met at a charity auction. Me, the scrappy architect who'd clawed his way out of foster care. Her, the corporate consultant with Old Main money backing her every move. Now, watching her betray everything we'd built together, I felt that familiar foster kid rage bubbling up. The same anger that had gotten me through college on scholarships while rich kids partied with daddy's credit cards. My phone buzzed. Victoria's name lit up the screen. "Hey babe, stuck in Portland tonight. Client emergency. Love you." I stared at the text, then at the timestamp on the security footage. She was probably in some fancy hotel room right now, wrapped around Travis Landon like a cheap suit. Travis, married father of 2, regional manager at Pinnacle Industries, member of the exclusive Ocean View Country Club, where Victoria spent her weekends playing tennis and gossiping with other trust fund babies. I'd met Travis exactly once, at Victoria's company Christmas party. Tall, silver-haired, the kind of guy who wore $1,000 suits and spoke in corporate buzzwords. He'd looked at me like I was something he'd scrape off his Italian leather shoes. "So you're the architect," he'd said, gripping my hand too hard. "Victoria tells me you design those little suburban houses." "Commercial buildings, actually," I'd replied. "The kind that don't fall down when the wind blows." He'd laughed, but his eyes stayed cold. How quaint. Now he was screwing my fiancée, and she was lying to my face about it. I grabbed a beer from the mini-fridge and settled into my desk chair, mind already working. 20 years of designing buildings had taught me that every structure had weak points. Every foundation could be undermined if you knew where to dig. Time to draft a new blueprint. The next morning, I called in sick and drove to Mike Sullivan's office downtown. Mike had been my roommate in college, back when we were both broke kids with chips on our shoulders. Now he ran a small private investigation firm, specializing in insurance fraud and cheating spouses. "Let me guess," Mike said, looking up from his coffee as I walked in. "Victoria's working late again." "How do you know?" "Because you look like someone just told you Santa Claus was a registered sex offender." Mike was built like a linebacker, with graying hair and the kind of face that made people want to confess their sins. "What do you need?" I showed him the security footage. Mike whistled low. "Travis Landon, huh? I know that name. Pinnacle Industries has been in the news lately, some kind of environmental lawsuit up in Bangor. Guy's got a reputation as a real piece of work." "What kind of reputation?" "The kind that involves young female employees and sudden promotions." Mike leaned back in his chair. "You want me to dig deeper?" "Everything you can find. Financial records, phone logs, hotel receipts. I want to know what brand of toothpaste this asshole uses." Mike grinned. "Now you're talking my language. This is going to cost you, though." "Bill me." "Adam, you sure about this? Sometimes it's better to just walk away." I thought about Victoria's text, her casual lie delivered without a second thought. "I'm sure." While Mike worked his contacts, I drove to my office at Hartwell & Associates. The firm was small but respected, specializing in sustainable commercial design. I'd been there 8 years, working my way up from junior draftsman to senior architect. My assistant Benji looked up as I walked in. 23 years old, fresh out of college, eager to please, and surprisingly good with technology. "Mr. Pierce, I thought you were sick." "Feeling better? Listen, I need a favor. You know anything about cloud storage security?" Benji's eyes lit up. "You mean like hacking? Because I should probably mention that's illegal." "I mean like accessing an account that I have legitimate access to." Technically true. Victoria had given me her passwords years ago, back when we trusted each other. "Oh, well, in that case," Benji cracked his knuckles. "What are we looking for?" 2 hours later, we downloaded Victoria's entire digital life. Photos, emails, text messages, calendar entries. The evidence was overwhelming. Hotel reservations, dinner receipts, even a few selfies that would make a porn star blush. But the real goldmine was her correspondence with Chelsea Morrison, her best friend and primary accomplice. Chelsea had been providing alibis, covering for Victoria's absences, even helping coordinate the affair. Their text chain read like a masterclass in deception. Chelsea. Did you tell Adam about the Portland trip? Victoria. Handled. He's so buried in his blueprints he barely notices when I'm gone. Chelsea. Travis is lucky to have you. His wife is such a cow. Victoria. Not for much longer if I play my cards right. I printed everything, organized it into neat folders, evidence, ammunition, the raw materials for Victoria's destruction. My phone buzzed. Rita Pierce, my younger sister, and the only family I had left. Dinner tonight? I've got gossip about the country club crowd. Rita worked as a reporter for the local paper, covering social events and municipal politics. She had her finger on the pulse of Maine's upper-class social scene. Perfect timing, I said. I've got some gossip of my own. That evening, Rita and I met at Murphy's Pub, a working-class bar that served decent burgers and minded its own business. Rita was 2 years younger than me, with the same dark hair and stubborn jaw that had gotten us both through the foster system. You look like hell, she said, sliding into the booth across from me. Thanks. Always the charmer. I ordered a whiskey, then another. What do you know about Travis Landon? Pinnacle Industries? He's married to Senator Whitmore's daughter. Big money, bigger ego. Why? I showed her the photos on my phone. Rita's eyes widened. Holy shit, Adam. Is that Victoria? In living color. Rita studied the images, her reporter instincts kicking in. These are from the Regency Hotel. That's where all the political types go when they want privacy. This is huge. How huge? Huge enough to destroy both their careers. Travis is up for promotion to VP. Victoria's consulting firm handles government contracts. If this gets out... What if it accidentally got out? Rita grinned. I like the way you think, big brother. We spent the next hour planning. Rita had contacts throughout the social scene, club managers, event coordinators, the kind of people who thrived on scandal. By the end of the week, carefully edited photos would find their way to key influencers at the Ocean View Country Club. What about Victoria? Rita asked. I'm going to confront her tomorrow night. Let her dig her own grave a little deeper first. The next evening, Victoria came home late as usual, looking perfectly composed in her designer suit. She kissed my cheek like nothing had changed. How was Portland? I asked. Exhausting. The client was a nightmare, kept changing specifications every 5 minutes. She poured herself a glass of wine, settling into the couch beside me. How was your day? Productive. Made some interesting discoveries. Something in my tone made her look up. Oh, about what? I pulled out my laptop, opened a folder labeled Victoria Personal. Her face went pale as she recognized her own photos. Adam, I can explain. Can you? Because these timestamps are fascinating. See, this one shows you checking into the Regency Hotel last Tuesday. The same Tuesday you told me you were in a client meeting until midnight. Victoria's mask slipped for just a moment, revealing something cold and calculating underneath. Then she recovered, switching to damage control mode. It's not what it looks like. Really? Because it looks like you've been Travis Landon for the past 6 months while lying to my face about it. She flinched at the profanity. Victoria hated crude language, said it was beneath us. Adam, please, let me explain. Travis and I, it just happened. We never meant for it to go this far. But it did go this far. In fact, according to these text messages with Chelsea, you're planning to leave me for him. Something about playing your cards right. Victoria's composure cracked completely. You hacked my phone? I accessed our shared cloud account. Amazing what people forget about when they're busy betraying the people they claim to love. She stood up, pacing to the window. What do you want, Adam? Money? I want you out of my house. Tonight. This is my house, too. My name is on the deed. Actually, it's not. I bought this place before we got engaged, remember? You just moved in. I closed the laptop, stood to face her. You have 1 hour to pack whatever you can carry. Everything else stays. You can't do this. Watch me. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Crocodile tears, I realized. Everything about her was calculated, even her emotional responses. 5 years, Adam. 5 years we've been together. Doesn't that mean anything to you? It meant everything to me, right up until you decided Travis Landon's dick was more important than our relationship. She slapped me, hard. The sound echoed through the room like a gunshot. I touched my cheek, feeling the sting. Feel better? Go to hell. Already there, sweetheart. You made sure of that. Victoria stormed upstairs to pack. I poured myself another whiskey and waited. An hour later, she came down with 2 suitcases and her laptop bag. This isn't over, she said. You're right. It's just beginning. The photos hit the country club social media groups on Thursday morning. By noon, Rita was fielding calls from 3 different gossip bloggers. By evening, the story had spread through Maine's upper-class social circles like wildfire. Mike called with an update on Travis Landon's background check. "Your boy's got a pattern," he said. 3 sexual harassment complaints filed with HR in the past 2 years. All settled quietly, all involving young female employees. His wife's family money has been keeping him out of trouble. What about finances? Interesting, you should ask. He's been bleeding money, bad investments, gambling debts, expensive habits. Word is he's been skimming from company accounts to cover his losses. Can you prove it? Give me another week. That weekend, Victoria called me 17 times. I let them all go to voicemail. "Adam, please call me back. We need to talk. This is insane. You're destroying both our lives. Travis says you're just jealous because I chose someone better." The last message was different. Her voice was shaky, desperate. "They kicked me out of the club. My mother won't return my calls. Please, Adam. I'm sorry. I made a mistake, but we can fix this." Too little, too late. Monday morning brought a surprise visitor to my office. Chelsea Morrison stood in my lobby, looking like she'd slept in her car. Her usually perfect hair was disheveled, her designer clothes wrinkled. "We need to talk," she said. I led her to my office, closed the door. Chelsea had always been Victoria's shadow. Pretty, vapid, living vicariously through other people's drama. Now she looked terrified. "You have to stop this," she said. "Victoria is falling apart." "Good." She didn't mean for it to happen. Travis pursued her, convinced her that you didn't appreciate her. And you helped her lie about it for 6 months. Chelsea's face crumpled. I thought it was romantic, like a movie. This isn't a movie, Chelsea. This is real life, where actions have consequences. What do you want? Money? I can pay you to stop spreading those photos. I laughed. You think this is about money? Then what? Justice. Chelsea left empty-handed. That afternoon, Benji showed me something interesting. Chelsea's own social media accounts, where she'd been posting subtle digs about me for months. Calling me boring, suggesting Victoria deserved better, even sharing photos from Victoria and Travis's secret dates without identifying them. She's been documenting the whole affair, Benji said. Look at this Instagram story from 3 weeks ago. The photo showed Victoria and Travis at a restaurant, faces partially obscured but clearly intimate. Chelsea had tagged it with heart emojis and the caption, "Some people know how to live." Can you download all of this? Already done. Want me to send it to your sister? Not yet. I've got a better idea. The Ocean View Country Club's monthly mixer was the social event of the season. 200 of Maine's wealthiest residents gathered to see and be seen, network, and trade gossip. Victoria had been attending these events for years, building the connections that fueled her consulting business. She wouldn't be there tonight. Her membership had been temporarily suspended pending review of recent conduct unbecoming a club member. But Travis would be there, playing the role of the wronged husband whose marriage was being destroyed by a manipulative younger woman. I wasn't a member, but Rita had press credentials. She got me in as her photographer. There he is, Rita whispered, nodding toward the bar. Travis Landon looked every inch the successful executive, silver hair perfectly styled, expensive suit, confident smile. He was holding court with a group of older men, probably spinning his version of events. I approached the group, camera in hand. Excuse me, gentlemen. Rita Pierce, Maine Social Register. Mind if I get a photo for next week's society page? They posed dutifully. I snapped several shots, then looked directly at Travis. Travis Landon, right? I'm Adam Pierce, Victoria Hale's fiancé. The group went quiet. Travis's smile faltered. Former fiancé, I should say. Congratulations, by the way. You won quite a prize. I think there's been a misunderstanding, Travis began. Oh, I understand perfectly. Victoria explained everything. How you pursued her, convinced her I wasn't good enough, promised to leave your wife for her. I smiled pleasantly. She showed me the texts. Travis's face went red. I don't know what game you're playing. No game, just wanted to thank you for taking her off my hands. Saved me from making a terrible mistake. One of the older men, Senator Whitmore, Travis's father-in-law, stepped forward. Young man, I think you should leave. Of course, Senator. Wouldn't want to cause a scene at such a lovely event. I turned back to Travis. Oh, one more thing. You might want to check your company email tomorrow. Someone sent HR some very interesting financial records. Travis went pale. What are you talking about? Nothing that concerns me anymore. Enjoy your evening, gentlemen. I walked away, leaving Travis surrounded by curious stares and uncomfortable silence. Rita found me by the dessert table. That was beautiful. Did you see his face? Phase 1 complete. How's our other project coming? Chelsea's Instagram posts are scheduled to go live at midnight. All of them, with timestamps and location data. The club's social media manager is a friend of mine. She's very interested in protecting the club's reputation. Perfect. We left the mixer early, but not before I spotted Mrs. Landon, Travis's wife, deep in conversation with several other club wives. Word traveled fast in circles like these. Tuesday morning brought chaos. Chelsea's social media evidence had exploded across every gossip platform in Maine. The photos, the timestamps, the locations, everything painted a clear picture of a months-long affair orchestrated with the help of Victoria's inner circle. Mike called with the final piece of the puzzle. Travis Landon's been embezzling from Pinnacle Industries for 8 months. Small amounts, carefully hidden, but it adds up to about $200,000. I've got bank records, forged expense reports, the whole thing. How'd you get bank records? I have my methods. The important thing is, it's all legal evidence. Someone just needs to point the authorities in the right direction. Someone like an anonymous whistleblower? Exactly. By noon, Travis had been suspended from Pinnacle Industries pending investigation. By evening, his wife had filed for divorce and moved back to her father's house with their children. Victoria called me that night sobbing. Adam, please. Travis won't return my calls. He's blaming me for everything. I've lost my job, my friends, my family won't speak to me. I have nothing left. You have exactly what you chose, I said. Travis Landon and a future built on lies. He's abandoned me. Says I'm toxic, that being with me will destroy his reputation. Imagine that. A man who cheats on his wife turns out to be untrustworthy. Who could have seen that coming? I made a mistake. You made a choice. Every day for 6 months you chose to lie to me, to betray our relationship, to plan a future with another man. Those weren't mistakes, Victoria. They were decisions. She was quiet for a long moment. What do you want from me? Nothing. I want nothing from you. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to remind me that I wasted 5 years of my life on someone who never loved me enough to be honest. I did love you. No, you didn't. You loved the idea of me, the successful architect, the stable relationship, the respectable life I could give you. But you never loved me enough to choose me over him. I hung up and blocked her number. The fallout continued for weeks. Travis Landon was arrested for embezzlement and faced federal charges. His wife took half his assets in the divorce, leaving him broke and unemployable. The scandal destroyed his reputation in Maine's business community. Victoria's consulting firm dropped her as a liability. Her family cut off her trust fund, disgusted by the public humiliation she'd brought on their name. Chelsea lost her influencer sponsorships when brands discovered her role in documenting the affair. I watched it all unfold with cold satisfaction. Every career destroyed, every reputation ruined, every consequence they'd earned through their choices. Rita wrote a follow-up story about the broader implications, how social media had changed the nature of scandal, how digital evidence made infidelity harder to hide. She won a state journalism award for the series. Mike's investigation into Travis uncovered 2 more affairs and led to a class action lawsuit from former female employees. The settlement bankrupted what was left of Travis's assets. 3 months after that night in my basement workshop, I was free, single, successful, and surrounded by people who'd proven their loyalty when it mattered. Benji got a promotion and a raise for his technical skills. Mike expanded his business with referrals from the Landon case. Rita's career took off as she became known for fearless investigative reporting. Victoria disappeared from Maine entirely. I heard she'd moved to California, trying to rebuild her life away from the wreckage of her choices. I didn't care where she went or what she did. She was no longer my problem. Standing in my basement workshop, surrounded by blueprints for new projects and a future I'd build on my own terms, I raised a beer and a silent toast. Some structures were worth preserving. Others needed to be demolished completely before you could build something better. I'd learned the difference.